Hello, and how are you doing this week? I don't know about you, but I am just loving this amazing weather. I mean, June is just like one of the greatest months, is it not? It just makes you want to go out and play. And I hope that's what you're doing. I hope you're doing a lot of playing. I mean, certainly the past year we've been thrown off a bit with, hibernating when we shouldn't be, and then so last June, of course, we were most of us under some kind of lockdown. So instead of going out and playing, most of us were cooped up and feeling very pent up. So now's the time. Get out there, play, enjoy yourself. It's a time I think when we're all having to get back in connection with our natural rhythms. And for many of us, actually, we haven't really been in touch with our natural rhythms since maybe we were children, because society kind of forces us into certain routines and schedules according to the mainstream, you know, 9 to 5 job or whatever your shift is. There's a structure. Many of us aren't really given the opportunity to, let's say, wake up when we feel like waking up. We get up to the sound of an alarm, so we're not really listening to our individual rhythms in those moments. Likewise, we have, electricity, electric lights running all the time. So our bodies don't necessarily calm down or settle down or prepare to sleep when they necessarily would normally if we were living according to more natural rhythms. So we're in many ways we've gotten a bit out of sync with our natural rhythms, and I think it's now that we're kind of coming out of the pandemic and whatever lockdown situation or restrictions that were put on us. Now is the time when we can start to get back into our daily rhythms in a way that feels good to us. Interestingly, though, I think a lot of people during this last year were able to reconnect with some of their natural rhythms in ways that they hadn't been able to in a while. So working from home, I talked to a lot of people who suddenly were like, I'm gonna take a nap in the middle of the day because I can log off for half an hour and take a nap, and that's what my body really wants. And a lot of people that I talked to were questioning this in a way. Like, is it okay for me to take a nap? Like, is that, is it okay for me to just take a break at 3 o'clock when I'm feeling myself with the sluggishness that often hits in the afternoon? Is it okay for me to take a break? Is it okay for me to let my mind rest? I mean, the fact of the matter is, right, we've been sort of trained to just be like worker bees nonstop, just go, 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 or energizer bunnies, whichever way you want to look at it. And and so the answer is yes. It's okay to listen to those natural rhythms. Your body actually is dying to be listened to in that way. And we could all do a little bit more of that. That for some people, they have found the opportunities to take more breaks when they need to, or really listen to that voice that says, I am going to sign off at 6 o'clock tonight because I'm tired. I'm not going to keep going. I'm not going to keep answering emails into the night. So a lot of people were setting different boundaries with work. Now, there are people who are actually going in the opposite direction, but I heard a lot of this during the past year of like, this is actually an opportunity to work in a different way, to live in a different way, to be able to like listen to our physical rhythms or what our bodies are asking for more of the time. And so now as we're moving back into quote unquote normal life, whatever that might look like, and chances are it's going to look different than it did. I don't know how many of us are going to be back in the office full time again. So perhaps we can take some of these new routines, these new habits into the new chapter. And really, again, like listening to what your body wants. I mean, the main reason that people develop chronic illnesses is because we're not listening to our bodies. We're out of sync with nature and with our body's rhythms, and we're either pushing ourselves way too hard so that eventually the body starts to scream at us with symptoms, or it just shuts down. It says no longer, and then you end up in the hospital. But before we get there, what if we could start to really get more in sync with our body's rhythms? And along with that, we all have these natural cycles of energy that, again, this is your body's rhythm, but we don't necessarily listen to those either. And aside from having to wake up to the sound of an alarm or something along those lines, it's more like when do you have the most energy and clarity, and when are the times when you really need to take it down a notch rather than push through. And the 3 o'clock in the afternoon is a time when a lot of people, or mid afternoon is a time when a lot of people feel an energy drop. And in our current culture, of course, we're usually just tempted to go get caffeine at that point, or an energy drink or something, and power through. But what if we started listening more to the fluctuations of energy in our body, our energy levels, the times of day when we have more energy, really harnessing those times of day to get the most done or to do the most difficult projects. And then at other times, doing more mindless tasks, or giving ourselves permission to let our minds rest, whether that's with a nap or a short meditation, or just staring out the window for a little while and daydreaming. Like, these are all important parts of keeping our systems running optimally. Likewise, there are different days where we have higher levels of energy, and days when we just feel tired. And again, we've been trained to ignore that and to just plow through because we have so many things to do. But truthfully, if we would actually just pay more attention to those energy fluctuations, not only would we be more productive, and I don't want this necessarily to be about being more productive because most of us could stand to be less productive. But if we actually are honoring the fluctuations of energy that we have, we are going to produce better outcomes when we are working on a project or something that requires thought or focus. We're going to do better if we do that in shorter chunks, when we have the energy, when we have the focus, and then letting our minds recover and rest at other times. And and again, the days where we feel just not on it, it's a good idea to ease up on ourselves. If we have something due that day, some deadline, or a presentation or something, then give all your energy to that, and then everything else can wait. So it's just it's something to just think more about, maybe as we're moving back into quote unquote normalcy, because most of us could really be a little more connected to our individual rhythms, emotional rhythms, physical rhythms, spiritual rhythms, as well as the season cycle, because that's the other thing. If your body and your soul are saying go out and play, then by all means go out and play. The work can wait. Okay. That's what I'm going to say. On a day like today, the work can wait. So that's what I got for today. Just a little reminder that we are a part of nature. We are not separate from it, even though sometimes we think we are. And our bodies adhere to the laws of nature. And we could all listen more to the natural rhythms if we're going to live happier lives and more productive lives. So I hope you enjoy the beautiful June weather, and I will see you next week.